Okay, so to start off with the first question, please tell us your name, your year of graduation, and the degree you've earned from the University of Michigan.
Which one? Which degree?
Both of you.
Well,
Both.
Yeah, and both.
Good point. I am Beth Macdonald. I am a current student in healthcare management, master's in science. I'll be graduating December 18th, 2022.
Thank you.
Yep. And then big guy here.
Okay, so I graduated from PT school in 2001, which means I probably graduated with my undergrad degree in, I don't know, 90, 98, one or the other, I don't know. So I have a master's of physical therapy from Michigan. I won't tell you where my transitional doctorate's from because it doesn't count. I think it counts as degrees from Michigan. We don't even count her master, her MBA, or her bachelor's degree. We don't count. They don't count.
So anyway, next question.
So why did you choose the University of Michigan for your schooling or for your education?
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm seriously asking.
Why wouldn't you? It's the #1 public university in the United States, for Christ's sakes. I mean, come on, right? No, you know, I used to sit on the couch and watch Michigan football with my dad when I was a kid. And I always dreamed of going to Michigan. And I was that kid that knew more than everybody else in high school. So in other words, I screwed off the whole time, chased girls and maybe drank too much and participated in amateur pharmacology. It's just pot. It's legal now, for Christ's sake. Come on. Okay. So I always wanted to go. And then when I got out of the Army, I did a year at a community college and applied. And I used to have a lot of respect for the university until they took me. That's when I knew they were desperate. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just my doing things with my dad and just growing up in Detroit and just, you know, what else are you going to do? Go to Michigan State? You got to be kidding me. Who would do that?
And Beth, I heard that you purposely chose to go to Michigan just so you could say you graduated from Michigan.
Yeah.
So what made you want to go to Michigan?
Well, this has more of a story behind it because when I was putting Mac through college, that was a time when we were older. He was a non-traditional student. He started when he was 38 years old. So I was putting him through college. And when most 38-year-olds and most 30-year-olds are getting up in their career, we were just falling behind because, you know, it was expensive. It was hard to find work in Michigan. And so the one place, you know, he got into the university. I love the city of Flint. I love the university. I just like the vibe of there, the collegial way the professors treated their students. Also, what I found is that the one happy place in my life was in the student section at the University of Michigan Stadium. Now I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Never a fan of Ohio State. I went to Miami of Ohio. And we also, there was just so much great, I liked the city of Flint. You know, it's just weird as that sound. I love running the Crim every year. I liked how the campus was set up. I liked how they really treated all of their students with respect. So that was back in, you know, in the late 90s. As, you know, we got older, we got to know the students. We got to do the talks at the university through the PT department. We got to go to Ann Arbor a little bit more. We got to really get the vibe. And I just wanted to go ahead and become a Wolverine, you know, and then our job was, our company grew, we became more prosperous. And finally, about a little over a year ago, I was able to gear back my work a little bit and start the degree. So I only have 2 more classes this, summer and fall, and I'm done with the degree in December.
That's extremely exciting. Congrats for almost being
57
done.
years old. I will have
That's
an MS in healthcare management. Yeah.
Hey, you're graduating from Michigan, and that's all that matters.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
So, Mac, what is your favorite memory from PT school?
Oh, God.
There's so many.
Put that down. Oh God, I don't know.
It was probably Donna that told you, that got after you about your language.
No, that was Cindy Kincaid.
Cindy Kincaid, gotcha.
I spent 12 years in the Army, and I was standing there with a few of the guys early on, like maybe the second day of class. And I was dropping maybe a bomb or two here and there, and standing, everybody got quiet. I turned around, Cindy Kincaid was standing right behind me, and I was like, oops. And she goes, and we'll take that out of you while you're here. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I think the other thing is being older. Okay. My classmates would get emotional, to say the least, in class. And there was only one girl that actually married the guy that she was dating in the whole class, like when we started. And within a year, everybody had broken up with their boyfriends. So there was some tears. And I used to get up and just walk out of class, go over and knock on the door to Paulette Cebulski's office, the director at that time, and say, I need adult conversation now.
Yeah.
And she said, absolutely close the door.
Yeah.
So being older, I think the kids kept me going. I mean, they really did.
And then he kept the class calm because,
I
again,
wouldn't put up with a lot of crap, competitiveness and all that stuff. I go, good God, it's just grades. Come on. Who cares? Did you pass? Did you get a B? Move on.
Exactly.
So I think, fond memories, just getting to know the profs. And the funny part about it is, like, I'm older than Donna Fry. So, and I may be older than Becky Rada when she was there. And your new director was a year ahead of me. And I have at least 20 years on her. Okay. And I love Jen to death. She's a great person. So I think just overall, I think probably being the designated driver too, because I don't drink. So you pick them up in a van, like Trish had we'd get her aunt's van, and I'd go over and drive them to the bar and drop them off, and then sit and wait for them to call.
Tell them how they paid you.
You know how I got paid for that? I got notes typed up. I never took a note in class.
Yeah.
They typed them up as we went. You guys get all the notes. You guys don't understand how easy you got it.
You guys have Google. You have no idea what this is.
You got that. Okay, you know what I had? A tub full of books, like huge.
You guys, what's the origin and insertion for blah, blah, blah? And they to look this stuff up.
And 16 signs and symptoms of Guillain-Barré. Well, you got to look through every chapter to find them all. So you end up reading a damn book anyway. So, I mean, those were, it's just lots and lots of fun with the youngsters. I think they really.
I think one of my funny memories is that we were running the crim with a whole bunch of the PT students. And one of them had whipped her head around and said, do you know we're only getting 6 weeks off? I guess they switched the semesters up a little bit. And they said, we're only getting 16 weeks off in the summer.
6 weeks.
Or 6 weeks off. I was like, well, wait till you start a job when you only get 2 weeks off the whole year. I mean, there's a lot waiting for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's funny because we're entering our last summer break, and next year we'll be working or studying for boards. So I can absolutely relate. And also I can speak for the rest of my group members. We're definitely some of the youngest in our program. And we definitely have some friends of ours that are definitely a bit older, and they certainly keep us grounded. So it's really great that you had that experience and that we can absolutely relate.
When we did our talks at Michigan, it was funny because I could look at the room of every one of those students, and I could see the traditional students going like this, and just they understood what we were saying.
Non-traditional.
Non-traditionals, yeah. And they got it.
Absolutely. So, Mac, what kind of physical therapy were you interested in originally, and what are you working in now?
Whatever would pay me. No, I'm serious. Okay. We were the last master's program at Michigan, and they tried to get us through accreditation, and they couldn't in time. So we took all the doctorate level classes. When I did my transitional, I took 4 classes. They took my research. They took everything. They have the exact same classes and the exact same books I'd already taken and used. No joke. You know, concepts of motor learning and differential diagnosis book, everything was the same. Pharmacology was I'm sorry, it was a different edition.
Yeah.
So
What has changed?
so now we run a sports medicine clinic, but it's general ortho and outpatient back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, with an emphasis on sports medicine, and we do pretty well at that. So like you said earlier, I told you guys I work with USA Basketball and I volunteer with them. So when the camps come, I work those. So just as an example, last night, the summer league was going on ESPN. So the Magic were playing Houston, and you had Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green, and you had Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, Panchero, who else on that team? The Wagner brothers. I worked with all those guys. You know, every one of them. Last year, not this year, last year's top 5 picks, I worked with all of them. Cade and Evan and Scotty, and Scotty went 4th. So if you do it in order, Jalen Green went 3rd, and then Suggs went 5th. So I know all those kids, and then I work with USA Judo, and then I work with pro boxers, and just amazing stuff. And then my staff, I get them involved. We just did AVP pro volleyball up in Denver for 3 days. So the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and they just had a blast. I mean, I was teaching them a lot of things while we were up there, and also just getting to work with that level of athletes, get the youngsters really pumped up. You know, when you're 25, 26, 27 years old, it's kind of cool for you to do that kind of stuff. So we're in the process of retiring over the next 18 months from owning the practice. We're going to turn it over to the staff, but I'll work with my athletes. I do MMA too. I forgot about that. And I'm going to World Championships next week for track and field in Eugene, Oregon. So I'll be working with some of the Americans and the whole Moroccan contingency. People say, how do they find you? I said, they just do, because I don't push all that Facebook, Instagram, whatever you guys do. I mean, we do a little bit of it, and people keep telling me I need to do more, and I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm 65 and I can be taught new tricks. You know, I can sit and stay and roll over, you know, as long as you rub my belly, it's good. No, I'm kidding. So I mean, that's where we're at. You know, it's just, it's fun. I mean, you got to make your work your fun and your fun your work. So you better find what you're passionate about in PT, all of it. If it's passion, then maybe you take a little less up front to work with the people you want to work with. The problem is you guys get stuck with student loans, right? And there's a lot of those, and they're big, you know, so.
That's great advice, though. I appreciate hearing all of that. What has it been like running like your own clinic?
Roller coaster, right?
Nothing works from year to year anymore. Back in 2004, I could set a budget and get pretty close. I could have a 5-year plan, and it would be reasonably on, you know, where we want to be. Healthcare changes so much that you literally have to reassess about every 6 months. Everything changes.
You know, for me, I do the managing of the personnel side. Beth does everything else, all the business. I don't know a P&L from an ABC. I don't know what any of that means, nor do I care. It's not my job. I didn't go to school for all that. But as far as schedules and things like that, people have changed over the years, you know, and I've adapted quite a bit, but I've also made them adapt towards me also, because I have certain things in certain ways. Like I said, I spent 12 years in the Army, and you're just not going to push me around.
We had an interesting, actually, a turn of events. We actually hired 3 really young people last year about this time, and they turned out to be such great rock stars. And we have gone like this with personnel. Like the leading edge millennials drove us crazy back in 05, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then as they get older, this new group of young kids really has got their stuff together. We really enjoy like their attitude, their energy. They're not full of themselves. We're finding young people. We used to say, oh, we're not going to hire any more young people, we'll just, hire people like us. No, we're finding the young ones now because we love the age group. The generation is wonderful.
Yeah, so I mean, working, the hardest part for me is just managing it all. And that's part of the reason. I mean, I'm going to be 66 and a half. It's kind of when I'm done. I mean, I just turned 65. And that's it. People say, oh, the insurance hassles, that's kind of fun. Any way I can screw an insurance company without, doing anything illegal, I just love doing it. We've done congressionals and United Healthcare. We've done all kinds of good stuff. But I think that part of it takes a lot of energy. And the hardest thing is saying no to people your age. I need this. Over the next 5 years, you're going to have a dozen weddings to go to, if not more. And you can't go to all of them. You don't realize that. Okay. You can't stand up in 12 weddings. Nobody has 12 friends that they're that close to. And then you move from Michigan all the way out here and you go, I miss my family. I go, why the hell are you here? Well, I love the mountains. Okay, so figure out what you love more. If you're going to move away from home, realize that this is a new life. So I think that's hard to manage sometimes, and manage expectations. So that's probably the only downfall. I mean, the rest of it's easy. I mean, I have a blast with the youngsters. I mean, the music's up. I'm wearing a t-shirt, shorts to work. So is the rest of the staff. And in fact, one of the girls' mom said, blue jeans, you're playing dress up today? Because the girls wear, the Lululemon and all that stuff during the winter, and the shorts and t-shirts, and, during the summer. I mean, I don't run some, like Dr. Darnell way back in the day, he wanted you in a white coat, and everybody else did too. And I'm like, no. And then we went over to, dress shirts and khakis or dress slacks. And then it was polos and khakis. And it's like, if you wear a polo and a khakis in my clinic, I'll send you home. You're not dressing like that. It's just, no, hell no.
That's so funny to hear the difference, because in our classes now, all of us essentially just wear lab clothes. So just, sweatpants or athletic shorts and tank top.
Yeah.
There's no professional dress unless it's like a factory. So it's very funny.
Your clinicals still want that. And I just think it's hilarious because we work, right? I mean, you got people's shoes all over your shirts and everything else. And
all the Viatone and all the other junk.
Crap. And you want to get a $70 polo shirt? Come on. It's ridiculous.
We had a friend that used to wear a tie all the time. He was out here in Colorado Springs, real pretentious guy. Didn't go to Michigan. And he would always say he would wear a tie. Matt goes, okay, first of all, anybody can grab that and hold on when you're arranging their knee. Not cool. 2, we had another friend who actually did a Petri dish test on a tie that was worn for one single week and said there's growths of all kinds of crap. So no to that either.
So you have it. What else you got for us?
What was your favorite class during your time in the program?
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Favorite
class.
Oh, hang on. Okay, I don't even know the class, but we adopted Stu Blatt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. For 2 years, the guy got abused by 2 classes. So we decided, well, mostly a group of about 6 guys decided we were going to adopt Stu and we were going to protect him. And we did. Yeah. So that was kind of like, and he wasn't necessarily my favorite prof. He was our favorite prof. We were going to make sure nobody abused him anymore. Because, people attack, and it's like, they tell you office hours. Why are you talking about your test scores in class? Nobody cares. Shut up. Okay, and that was part of my job. So I liked, God, there was just so many good classes. I'm an ortho guy, so I'll break Donna's heart. Her neuro classes are great, but I'm an ortho guy, so I like to just crack backs and necks and all that stuff. And I think Becky Rade had a lot to do with that. Donna was another one that I had a lot of conversations with, and we're still pretty close after all these years, even though she's the boss there now. So yeah, I would say the ortho classes, any of them. I mean, it did matter to me. But there were classes. I'll tell you a quick story and you get a kick out of this one. We had psychosocial. Do you guys still have that? Where it's a sociology, psychology type class
No,
mixed into one.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
so
we get that from undergrad. It's one of our prereqs.
Well, we had 3 years of it. So Dr. Darnell taught first and third year, and he gave us a perceived disability, which was whatever you want. And I put myself in a wheelchair. I was a paratrooper, so I said, I'm paralyzed. And I wrote this beautiful paper, 4, 5, 6 pages long. Normally he'd give you a check plus or check minus. And that was it. So you could pretty much figure out your grade from there. And the class is just about talking about different things. It was pretty cool. So the third year, he hands all those papers back and he says, now it's been 3 years. You've been to clinic a little bit. I want you to compare and contrast the two and write another paper. I fit it all on one page and turned it in. I'm walking by his office shortly after that. He says, Lorne, because nobody called. He's the only one that called me that. Everybody else called me back. I said, yeah, Dr. D, what can I do for you? He goes, did you check out? I said, you damn right I did. I'm done. I said, I'm 43 years old. I don't have time to be writing little papers. I just want to get graduated, okay, and go get paid. Now, my classmates, some of them, because the class ahead of us or behind us was going to get the doctorate, some of them thought about flunking out. I go, hell no, man. As long as I can get out here and draw a paycheck, what do I care whether it's MPT, DPT, XYZ? I didn't care.
So who was your favorite professor or the one who had the greatest impact on you during your time in the program?
Damn. They all did. They all played a part. I mean, I'll give you some stuff. I mean, I think honestly, Paulette Sobolski, the director, just because of some of the conversations I had with her, and if I had to, and then the same thing with Donna, because she was our advisor for our research project, and we had some really. So I would say they were close, but I loved them all. I mean, like you said, I had a soft spot for Cindy Kincaid and Becky Rada and God Stuplat. Jesus. Those guys, they were really, really good people. But I would say, we had some fun and candid conversations individually and in groups with Donna. And some of the things that came out of her mouth would shock all of you. I promise you, she is human. Okay. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being, and she brought things down to earth for us. And Paulette was, I don't know if you guys know anything about her in the history of Paulette. Ask Jen sometime, she'll tell you. She was a nun at one time, then she got married and had kids and one daughter. So she was, she listened to me even when I used my colorful language. And she was very special to all of us. And the same thing with Don. I mean, all of them. It was so good. It was just a good crew. They worked well together. There wasn't any infighting, no petty jealousies, none of that. And it reflected on us. So,
We actually just interviewed Dean Fry on Wednesday, so it was great getting to talk to her. And she was our first interview, so that was a little nerve-wracking.
Nice.
Absolutely, starting at the top. Otherwise, that is all the questions we have. Is there anything else that you would like to add or share for the 70th anniversary?
incredible program.
All of them,
I
all
mean,
of them. Yeah, all the programs, like even, I'm on the online class with the healthcare management field.
it was supposed to be distant, like you used, it was supposed to go fly back.
He's supposed to like go back every quarter, but it just went all online. And all the professors do
COVID.
such a good job of tying the students together and making them work, and even the discussion boards being very interactive. So you felt very connected to all of your students. So, I mean, that's a gift. I mean, this online learning is reasonably new, and being used as a main tool is very unusual, but they do such a good job, and there's such a good group of, all the professors are great there.
An amazing university.
Mhm.
Couldn't agree more. Well, we really appreciate the time that you took out of your day to meet with us, and it was really great talking to you.
You too.
Yeah, we'll probably get back. I gotta get a hold of Jen and let her know whether we're coming or not. For sure. I told her I wanted to do a talk again this year because we can now. You know,
Yeah, I'd love that.
it's fun. And I mean, we can talk about sports medicine, we can talk about private practice, so we can mix it up a little bit. We talk about the business side of it. You guys have a business class, and until you've lived it, you really don't understand it. You think you do. You can't learn it in the book. You can get the basics out of it. What she does is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of times I think when the program, the healthcare management was being developed, it was like good 10 years ago. They asked, they said, would this be a good course to do with the DPT? So you could take them at the same time. And after doing that, I'm like, no, I would never do these things together. Everybody in my class either has an MBA already. They've been working in the healthcare field from really upwards about 8 to 10 years. So you really have to, or medical, I have physicians that are in this, optometrists, dentists, pharmacists that are in this course with me. And they all have a lot of experience first. I wouldn't I would never run these together. That's too hard. You're drinking from a fire hose your first year. I know. And there's no way I could even throw one other business class with it.
Well, that's all we have for today. So thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
You guys take
Thank
care.
you. We'll see you guys.